I'm a hatch girl. I like a nice rounded butt on a car. So I was really looking forward to driving the new Ford Focus, especially now that it's got the new family treatment on the rear lights that we first saw on Fiesta. But if it was a nice rounded butt that I was looking forward to, I got more than I bargained for. Because Ford has delivered us this, the four-door sedan version of the new Focus. As soon as I got over the initial shock and disappointment of having to test the sedan Focus, I started to appreciate its looks. The burnt orange exterior certainly helped in getting it attention in traffic, and there's no denying it's much better looking than the old model. In fact, it reminds me of the Renault Fluence. It's got that rising waistline, very raked windscreen, and while some people are divided on the rear lights of the hatch, I quite like what they've done here with the sedan. There is a reason I prefer hatches to sedans. It's very difficult to create exciting styling in a segment where most buyers are going to be looking for practicality. And they'll get plenty of that with new Focus, particularly if practicality means fuel consumption and safety. The 2-litre TDCi we're driving will sip 5.3 litres of diesel for every 100 k's you drive. That's pretty impressive. And you'll save on taxes when you buy too, because new Focus comes in at 139 grams per kilometre on the CO2 count. But it's on the safety side that Focus has made headway. A new airbag technology is making its debut in this car. What does it mean for you? Well, we all know that when an airbag goes off, it can cause quite an impact in itself. The little guy in here has got a curved shaped tether that pulls the bottom of the airbag in when it goes off, so there's less impact on your chest and ribs. Does the same job still, just with less negative side effects. Ford is also showing off new technologies in its all-new 2-litre GDI petrol engine. If you go for the diesel we're driving, you won't be disappointed. It's got 340 newtons on tap with 120 kilowatts. It's quite a significant step up from the output of the previous model, and that's not at all affected by it being mated with the new PowerShift transmission. The auto box is great, pretty smooth and quick on both the up and the down change. You can drive it in sport as well, but in that or in drive, you can take over with this little intriguing button on the side of the gear lever. There's another new technology in next-gen Focus that you're really going to enjoy as a driver. It's called torque vectoring control system. It's not something you generally find other than in premium segment cars. Basically, it acts like a limited slip diff, so whether you're cornering at speed or you're wanting to put foot away from a traffic light, it's balancing the torque distribution between your front wheels. It's not something your average driver is really going to notice unless they absolutely need it in an emergency situation. But if you are driving your Focus with gusto, you're not going to experience any torque steer whatsoever, and you're going to enjoy a real feeling of confidence in the corners. It's this kind of dynamic experience behind the wheel that's made Focus something of a legend. It's sold 10 million units globally since launch in 1998. As one of the oldest car brands in the world, Ford knows how to make good cars and keep making them relevant and in line with other models in its range. The center console designs come straight from the Ford Fiesta, and I have to admit it's grown on me. Yes, it still looks like an old Nokia, but at least it's not your regular fare. The toggle switches on your steering wheel, quite fussy, quite bizarrely angular, but I don't think it's going to take you very long to get used to. Also, some bits and bobs that they've thought of in here, very thoughtful and useful storage bits like this next to your knee. There's place for cards, place for coins. I think these Ford people know what they're doing. The seats are comfy. I like the cloth they've used, and it generally feels like a quality interior, although I wouldn't quite stretch that to the word premium, as Ford has done in its communications. The boot's big and easy to access, and there's plenty of room in the back for those fetching and carrying. Ford is calling this a perception changer, and quite right. I think that's something that the brand needs. After all, Toyota equals reliability, VW equals quality. So what's the perceived advantage of buying a Ford? It's a good car, it's solid, great to drive, great engine, it's safe, it's practical, it's fuel efficient. It just doesn't feel like a 280,000 rand car to me. Granted, this is the top of the range they've given us on test. New Focus starts at 208,000 rand for the 1.6 Ambiente, with the most expensive hatch at 266,000 rand for the 2-litre GDI Sport. There are 8 different derivatives on offer. But if you look at other cars in the same segment offering more or less the same thing, then I'm even more perplexed, because Focus is priced just right. And maybe that pricing is part of the perception changer. Maybe they're going for a Ford equals technology connection, because that's really what sets this car apart, but not far apart enough.